Hey everybody, this is Grayson here from Prestige Checkpoint. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at Little Red Lie. This is a game that I have been looking forward to for a long time. It's by developer Will O'Neill. Will O'Neill has released a game previously that I played briefly on the channel called Actual Sunlight. I stopped playing that game because it hit a little bit too close to home for me at the time. But Little Red Lie is along the same lines in terms of, well, from what I understand, is along the same lines in terms of like having the emotional story-driven impact that Actual Sunlight did as well. So we're going to jump in, we're going to take a look, and we're going to see what it's like. We're just going to start a new game, and off we go. Before you begin, would you be willing to answer a brief questionnaire regarding confidential details of your personal and family finances? Your answers will be securely saved and stored and will influence several narrative events in the game. Do I want to do that? Probably not. Not online. Would you like to provide a suspicious explanation for your refusal to submit information? Yeah, sure. Thank you. Your preference has been noted. Little Red Lie is now in possession of sufficient information about you to proceed. You have been designated as deceptive, self-loathing scion of upper middle class family. Would you like to continue? Sure. Why not? In Dystopia by Sarah Stone. The way I see it, dystopia is nothing but a distraction from a reality that will be even worse. In dystopia, faceless stormtroopers tower over the horrified masses as they cling together for warmth. The guardsmen grit their teeth and pull their triggers on throngs of desperate protesters, cutting down waves of innocence with sinister certainty. But in reality, reality is nothing like that. In reality, the police don't need to be scary to scare you. In reality, the courts are so clogged and the cops are so callous and the cage is so cramped that the thought of getting lost in the labyrinth of logistics scares you more than a bullet to the back of the head ever could. In reality, nobody needs to shoot you at all. You get knocked on your ass by a $1 zillion sound cannon and run away to save the eardrums you don't have the savings or the health insurance to lose. In dystopia, tattered rags or drab uniforms are dutifully worn by all. Met eyes and encoded gestures are made in shadow as the steel doors crush together. Ragtag rebels rediscover the unity of long-lost ethnic identities, and in each other they find hope, strength. And even if their failure is assured, in dystopia, they gain the one thing their tormentors can never possess: love. But in reality, the only people who even notice you are strangers trying to look down your shirt. In reality, your best friend is a cell phone. A good one, if you're lucky. In reality, you never cared about other people until the other people were other people like you. And you put them up the river if they crashed on your couch for longer than a weekend. And who can you blame? In dystopia, it's easy. In dystopia, the evil and cruel are always up the hill, down the dungeon, through the woods. They want your blood. They want your babies. They want your brainwaves or the shells of your bodies. The heat of your sexy, starving orifices. But reality is never that interesting. In reality, even the most horrible and seemingly incomprehensible power always ends up being the same old song, a bunch of assholes trying to get rich. In reality, the people frantically obsessed with money are never those people at all. In reality, the people whose whole lives revolve around money are the people who have no choice. Because they don't have any. And in reality, the wealthy no longer need a thing from anyone else at all, not to die in some war, not to live in some place, and not to build something that a robot has built in the time it took you to read this sentence. And in dystopia, all of our creations churn midnight oil into a hateful sun, Diseases boil through the skin, faces are rendered tragically unfuckable. The destruction of Mother Earth turns everyone into a chimney sweep, a hooded nightmare, an asphyxiating tinker. But in reality, the sky is blue as ever. The air is fever crisp, and the bright stars within it are what you look up at while you wait for an ambulance after being stabbed over an apple that now costs $20. In dystopia, your only possession is a torn photograph. You end up bartending at a neon-soaked nightclub for futuristic gangsters. But in reality, you could never get that job. And if you were forced to become an outlaw yourself, you'd probably end up being the victim of a far worse crime than you could ever bring yourself to commit. In dystopia, you finally matter. You're finally going to make a difference. Every oppression ignites you with anger that spurs you into legendary action. But in reality, you're exhausted. Forever exhausted. You think dystopia is some big story. It's not. It's just a shitty little epilogue that goes on forever. And it all ends up in nothing. Winter. Kennedy Station. Well, I guess I better get out of the rain. Onto the bridge. In the parking lot. They're waiting for me. Okay, move. Lie, highlight. Okay. Cool. Lie about leaving Toronto. Okay. There's no way I can negotiate with these people if I don't have a cigarette first. And I want to start that conversation on a note of why I've started smoking. Even if you already had something like half a pack today. Press X to highlight updated interactions. Alright. I'll have the cigarette. There's an ashtray over there by the corner. Then I'll use that washroom and try and mask it as best I can. Okay. You know what they say. The only way to start quitting is to have one. Snow on the ground. Rain in the sky. Heat in the night. We figured they were lying about how long this kind of climate change would take. Then it turns out that even the worst pessimism isn't half as bad as it already was. Who knows? Maybe this cigarette's the least toxic thing I've inhaled all day. Still, if I could quit, I would. Too bad they only feel bad after it stops feeling good. Maybe that attitude's a little piece of what happened to everything. Fuck it. I didn't even want this. I'm just delaying the inevitable. I have to tell them the truth. Tonight's the night. I've got a toothbrush, perfume, gum. This should do it. Or at least well enough to be able to say it secondhand. The thought of somebody actually using one of these toilets is unimaginable. God, I have to quit. Look at my fingers, my teeth. The real reason they tried to hook you young is so it can happen before you're even capable of imagining what looking like shit would look like. Alright, I think I'm good. Lie about gig economy. Lie about taxi cabs. Can you lie about everything? Homeless deaths spike in downtown core. You know, it would actually cost less to house these people than to pay the cost of them being on the street. I can understand why, can't understand why people get upset that they... No need to pick this up. We still get it delivered. Okay. Cool. So that's a lie. Before you know it, by Sarah Stone. Before you know it, you feel like you're right back where you started. Back at home, back to childhood. Back to depending on the people who should be depending on you. And you're so defined by what you're not. Never married, never successful, never belonging anywhere or to anything. That you don't even know who you are. Still, it's strange to be past what feels like the point of no return, and still so far from the end. Thanks for coming to get me. You were working late. I guess what happens then? Yeah, big project. They can't really trust too many people with it. I understand that I broke the chain. That without creating a future for it, even the closest family will eventually run out of things to talk about. I'll ask a question about some distant relative or a restaurant I haven't been to in a long time. Just to break up the rhythm of the rain. But I don't really care. I don't think that they believe I do. The saddest thing, though, is that I think I used to. At least a bit. You just don't see the point. I mean, what does it have to do with you? Literally nothing that goes on around you has anything to do with you at all. You're just a sack of shit dragging yourself around from one day to the next. What could you even say about anything that wouldn't make you look like a fool? But still, you have to say something. Even if it means pretending to be somebody you used to be in order to hide how you no longer feel like you are anybody at all. What are your plans for the weekend? Faint interest in... Sorry, what? The weekend? What are you doing? Oh, watching... Sleeping and eating, I guess. I'll probably get coffee with Claire and Steve. I'm pretty tired, though. You know you're a loser when basic questions about what you're doing on the weekend feel like a humiliating interrogation. Well, maybe you should go somewhere new, meet some new people. I have nothing in common. I'm embarrassed to be around regular people my own age. And everyone older than me weirds me the fuck out. Okay, nothing in common with people younger than me. Yeah, you're right. I should see if anything's going on in the city. Seems dangerous downtown right now, though. Did you guys read about that rapper guy who got shot? Sometimes we'll pull up next to a car at an intersection and look over to see another 38-year-old woman. One who isn't sitting in the backseat of a car being driven by her elderly parents. She'll seem powerful, yelling and waving her arms at somebody on some kind of conference call. Or dressed up, looking like she's heading out for the night. Or listening to her kids tell her about what they did at school. But as soon as she looks back, I look away. I don't want to see the type of person I wish I could be seeing me wishing I could be them. This is very pretty art, by the way. And worst of all is how the space and silence that should be my life gets filled up with guilt instead. Filled with the unspoken sound of how much they've done for me, how much they sacrificed so that I could be somebody. And here I am. And sure, I could tell you I love them for it, but what would matter if I did? There isn't a single thing my love can do. I won't survive without my parents. But at least they're the only people who even care if I'm alive. You can't have less to lose than that. What did you eat today, Sarah? I had a salad with chicken and a granola bar. Well, we've leftovers, if you want. Alright, maybe a bit. So, you haven't eaten today, okay. I feel like this looks like it's reversing. Sarah, hold on a second. Is something wrong? We need to talk. Mom, a relapse? But she seemed fine. She was never fine when I came back. My sister, it must be my sister. Dad, stop being cryptic. Just tell me. Your mother's worried. About what? What happened with her this time? The way he exhales now. The moment he even thinks about her. Your sister is beyond being worried about Sarah. Mom is worried about you. Jesus Christ, he knew I would think it was a relapse. He always does this. Says half of something and pretends it's just his personality. I'm fine. She thinks you work too much. She thinks I'm a lesbian, or too much of a slut to be taken seriously, or not enough of one to find somebody in the first place. I don't know what that means. Okay, so that's a lie then. So I guess anything in text means it's a lie? Red text, it means it's a lie? It means she wants you to be happy. That your happiness is more important to her than anything else. And she's dying. The unsaid thing always, with all the weight it carries. I'm trying. And your sister, you know she's going to need your help, and you know it won't be easy. If you had someone that you could turn to when things got tough with her, that might make all the difference. He always says this, no, I'll defend her. He wants to hear somebody do it, even if he feels like he can't. She doesn't need me as much as you think she does. She's more capable than you know. She is. You've always been just like me. You're strong. You don't complain, and you've never been afraid of responsibility. But sometimes I think you can't see that there's more to being strong than being on your own. This has got to be about something more than my romantic life. But what, and why now? What you don't see is that I would have never been strong enough to take care of everything without your mother. Or your sister. Or you. I know I make it seem that way. It isn't that way at all. It's family, Sarah. Family. Anyway, I think that's what your mother wanted you to know. Is that it? I couldn't tell by the way he locked eyes with me in the rear view. Was it intimidation? Fear? Pity? It's hard to read your parents as people. You don't want to do it. No matter how old you get, you want to believe nothing could shake them. No, that isn't it. I have to tell you something important, and I don't want you to say anything about it to your mom. Not yet. Heart failure, Alzheimer's. Just tell me. We can't afford to take care of your sister anymore. What'd she do? It isn't just her. The medication costs for Mom, and they just keep going up. What else did they put her on? I don't even know anymore. Between the two of them, it's a mountain. Ugh. I'm sure they're helping if the doctors say so. We'll get through it. Your sister doesn't listen to me, Sarah. At the very least, I need you to get her to stop buying whatever she feels like off the internet. I'm not trying to pit you against her, but if she doesn't knock it off, we won't have any choice but to start charging you rent. It's the last thing I want to do. I know you're working your tail off trying to get your life back on track, but things are that serious. And maybe if you could put it to her like that, if she knows how hard you're working to rebuild, maybe some of that attitude will rub off onto her. Maybe. I mean it, Sarah. You've done everything you could, despite how tough things are out there. I know how much it must have hurt to move home and rent out your condo. Ugh. I don't miss it. I was lonely there. But you still own it. And this is still Toronto. And you still got the equity from the down payment, plus all of the years you paid into the mortgage. Oh, I borrowed against all of that equity years ago. Oh. Oh my god. Yeah. I'm sure the appreciation on it is still going strong. I checked a while ago. Oh my god. I think about all these kids your age that I read about in the paper. The ones who not only didn't save, but got buried under mountains of debt that they never should have taken on in the first place. Oh, fuck me. Yeah. It isn't worth it to pay all of that interest anyways. Exactly. And we've been paying off your sister's nonsense for years, but not once have you ever come to us to borrow anything. Oh, that's what I was going to do tonight. Oh, because I'm at the end of my rope and the only thing I want to do is try to tell you. I couldn't live with myself if I screwed up your retirement. You and Mom worked so hard for everything you have. So have you. You get up in the morning, you get dressed, and you do it. You do the work. I know they've never appreciated you the way they should, but they will. You're too good to ignore. I lost my job 6 months ago. I sit in a path cafe all day dressed for interviews. Jobs with hundreds of applicants who are far more exploitable. Fuck me. As long as I'm getting paid something, I can manage. Being noticed isn't always for the best, though. Jesus. You've done it again, Will. You've done it again. You've made me feel things. Well, if they don't come around, somebody else will, and I'm hoping that your sister will too. She needs to more than anybody. I'll do my best. You always have. Jesus, fuck, that's bleak. I'm proud of you, Sarah. Oh, man. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Little Red Lie. Oh my god, what an intro. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. Oh. Now we're into this other character. Before you blow your brains out over some attractive upper middle class white woman just because you would fuck her brains out, I was thinking, maybe we could take a moment to talk about the things she told you. To talk about the things that people like her will never tell you. The Money by Arthur Fox. You know her. Overeducated, underemployed, bridging into 40 with no real prospects, no real anything, and then, one day, a bill finally arrives that cannot be paid, one which even the family that made her feel invincible all of her life can no longer bear, and then it all falls down. Then comes the self-pity, the woe is me, the toxic, dishonest belief that even if you'd had a shot, you never had a chance. But let me ask you something. Where was this person 5 years ago? I'll tell you where they were. They were pretending they never saw it coming. They were racking up debt, desperately hoping they would never lose imaginary face with kombucha sipping celebrities. 10 years ago, they were blowing every cent they made or could borrow in service to a hashtag, shoes, travel, asinine brunches. 15 years ago, forget it. Laughing it up in the hallowed halls of higher learning, acting as if they were somehow smart enough to get a degree in anthropology, but not smart enough to know they were digging their own graves. And now they want the world to feel sorry for them. So they won't tell you about what they really come from. They won't tell you about the safety net that still sits secretly beneath them. They won't tell you how they did it to themselves. But the past is the past. Nobody can run from it forever. And the numbers don't lie. And even if they can't deny their guilt, once they throw their mimosa tabs and aluminium laptops in their faces, they would still say that it wasn't their fault, that they didn't know better. They would still say that they were told their whole lives that if they did what they were supposed to do, they would end up safe and sound. But where are the people who said this? When was this so-called speech they gave? Where did this happen? Who wrote it down? What did it say? They don't exist. It doesn't exist. And I don't know about you folks, but I don't feel sorry for them. And since you wouldn't be in this room unless you were at least a little bit like her, I'm gonna have to say it. I don't feel sorry for you. But we don't need to feel sorry for ourselves. We don't need to feel anything. What we need to do is stop talking, stop complaining, and actually do something about the mess we are in. And tonight, that is exactly what we are going to do. Manipulate the desperate and unemployed. Okie dokie. I'm on it. Seems like a family wishing crowd tonight. Lots of sad single people. I'll swap things around so it seems like that part is the grand finale. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to begin by telling you that if I've learned one thing, it is this. Money is not the most important thing. It is the only important thing. Nothing that was ever not about money was not about money. Not even the things that seem to come close. You show me any good thing in the world, anything at all, and I'll show you why it doesn't mean a goddamn thing without money. Cool. Controls again. Perfect. Autosave is updated. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to leave that there for this particular episode. If you want to see more of this kind of stuff in the future, if you want to see this as a continued series, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, letting me know that that is the case. However, that is Little Red Lie. That is Little Red Lie by O Neill. It's quite similar to Actual Sunlight, although Actual Sunlight did seem a little bit more bleak. But I do like the fact that you can see where the lies are and things like that in this particular game. And it's living up to the expectations that I had for it so far. And I'm really enjoying the story element so much. I want to see how this plays out. But Will, you've done it again. You made me feel things. You've done a fantastic job. But ladies and gentlemen out there, if you like this episode, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these kinds of videos in the future. If you want to see more of me, if you want to see more of Lear, if you want to see more of Ristel, whoever, subscribe to the channel. And it'll be dropped into your subscriber feed as soon as we post new videos. But for now, we'll leave it there for this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.